they'll punish you for thinking, for having your own mind, for having your own opinion. They'll punish you for waiting on the facts. They'll punish you for waiting to know the truth. Yeah, in fact, if you don't join the clique, the club, the herd, sometimes there are little ways that they have of what we would call throwing shade at you because you are not one of the they or the them. Some people leaving you is a favor because it is possible to be with us and not be of us. And eventually, if you're not really of us, you will give up on being with us because you had a hidden agenda all the while. And as soon as I don't do what you want me to do, now you're leaving. You're not leaving because I didn't do it. You're leaving because you were not of us. For had you been of us, no doubt you would have continued. The difference between intelligence and ignorance is thinking. The one thing the herd will never want you to do is think. They want you to follow, but they don't want you to think. They want you to imitate them, but they don't want you to think. They don't want you to think. They want you to obey, but they don't want you to think. They don't want you to think. See, that's what I meant when I was telling the old men. I can understand the young men being hurt because you have lived long enough to see enough failure not to be critical and judgmental. You think you know everything, but ain't no way you're going to get this grade, man, you ain't done something stupid.
You know, man, your dreams have to be bigger than all your fears. If you can, see, that's why you have to have big dreams. Because your dreams have to be bigger than all your fears and all your consequences. What makes people go back is you dream too small. See, your problem in life ain't if you aim too high and you miss it. Your problem in life is if you aim too low and you hit it. That's, you messed up now. So it kind of keeps you motivated a lot longer, man, to help you push through. Because everybody's gonna have a push through moment. Because everybody has a turn back moment. The key to making it is you can never turn back. This real talk, man. This is how it works. Being successful, y'all, is not a magic trick. You have to learn the principles of success. You can be successful at anything. You really can, man. I don't have no education. I'm not really like school smart, none of that. And I got a lot of people work for me, got degrees. I come down here and do the gift. I keep telling the jokes. I'm telling you, God has an incredible life for you. All you gotta do is ask Him for it. Be willing to put in the work. But now this work part is hard. Success is hard. But let me ask you a question. Ain't not being successful hard too? So now which hard you want? You want the hard with some options and some benefits, or you want the hard when ain't nothing going on? I'm gonna take the hard with the option and benefits. Give me that hard. Let me try that.
You want to live your life from now on with courage. That most people take their talents, abilities, and skills to the grave with them because of lack of courage. And courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is the willingness to do what it is you need to do, what you are called to do, in spite of the fear. You don't want to live a fear-driven life because you're depriving yourself, your family, and the world. You came here to do something. That's why we're told constantly in the book of life, be of good courage. Because there's stuff that's going to happen that requires that you have courage, that you stand up inside yourself and face it and handle it. And that's who you are. That's why you're listening to me now. Because there's something you want to do. And when you're going outside of your comfort zone, it takes courage. Most people, the majority of people, die within their comfort zone. They're not risk takers. They go through life trying to play it safe. Let me share something with you. There's no safe position in life. If we don't know anything else, if we have not learned anything else from the coronavirus, there's no safe position in life. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave here. And so this is a time You're here to do something. You got to live life like you mean it. When I decided to speak, I went at it hard because I didn't want to be just a speaker. I wanted to be a speaker that stood out, that made a national and global impact. So when you live like a warrior, you live courageously. You're fearless.
Let me tell you why people get stuck in life. They get stuck in life because they're living lives, right? They're living a life as a meme. They're living a life as the smallest unit of meaning, right? Of their potential. The smallest unit of meaning of their potential. Isn't that crazy? We're born into this world with massive potential, right? Unbridled potential. And all of a sudden life happens. This thing over there surprised me, shocked me. And one day you wake up in a marriage you hate, at a job you detest, surrounded by people who are just toxic individuals, right? You end up in situations that you couldn't imagine 10 years ago you'd be here, right? 5 years ago, I would never have imagined I would be stuck like this, right? You end up here because life happens. And because life has happened, you decide to exile yourself to one tiny corner of your potential, a dark little corner of your potential, right? You're living life as a disappointed mother. You're living life as a failed entrepreneur, right? That's who you are. That's who you define yourself to be. As an angry person, as a humiliated person, as a heartbroken individual. That's it. That's all you're expressing in life. Out of all your potential, that's the area you choose to focus on. That's the area you choose to express. You've got to figure out how to get out of that corner and start expressing more about your potential. How to do that? How do you do that? You live a life of curiosity. So when an opportunity shows up, you don't know if it's going to work out, but you take a leap anyway. And maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't work out, at least you know. You have more information. At least you know, hey, I tried that thing over there and it didn't work out. At least I know that's not me. And if I know that's not me, then by virtue of by process of elimination, I know I am one step closer to who I actually am.
When you live like a warrior, you honor your commitment. Commitment is major. See, when you decide that you're going to do something, when you commit yourself to live a life that's different than the life that you lived in 2020, you hold yourself to a higher standard. You're seeking something. You're pushing the envelope. You are challenging yourself. You are willing to walk by faith and not by sight. And you know, as a warrior, that there's a dramatic difference between being a warrior and being a worrier. Anybody can worry, and a lot of people are worried right now. Oh, the new virus coming, and it's even more lethal and spreads easier. Okay, got that. All right. And you got to eat. You got to pay the rent, got to pay the mortgage, got to pay the car note. I learned a long time ago the best way to get back on your feet is to miss 3 car payments. Yeah, but you don't want to be reckless. You don't want to die for a job. No. Somebody asks you, hey, sign here, and in the event you get sick, you go on sewers. Do I look like Mr. Kadumbo? No. Create something else. Life is saying no. Don't put your life on the line saying, oh, I got to eat. I can either starve to death or I sign this and risk dying and leaving my family so they can starve without me. No. You can create something else. You have other options. Don't be limited in your thinking. I did that for years. Because I knew radio, I did it extremely well, and when I was fired, I was dumbfounded. What am I going to do now? Guess what? Learn something new. That's what, in life, when you don't have enough courage or insight, intelligence, expanded vision, that you have outgrown a situation and it's time to move on, life moves on you.
It is easy to run with the herd. Everybody have herds. Rich folks have herds. Poor folks have herds. Hip-hop artists have herds. Preachers have herds, doctors have herds, lawyers have, everybody got herds. Black folks got herds, white folks got, everybody got herds. But you gotta be careful, because a herd will run you into destruction. Following the herd will get you killed. Following the herd will get you shot before you're 30. Following the herd will end your life before it begins. Following the herd will make you hurt people, not because you're a bad person, but belonging to the herd becomes more important than using your common sense. Conviction brings transformation. As long as you have no conviction, you will have no lasting transformation until you get sick of yourself. Everybody else can be sick of you, but until you get sick of yourself and say, wait a minute, I'm better than this. I can do better than this. I can be better than this. I can live higher than this.
Everybody has something that's a little different than everyone else that helps them and allows them to kind of excel and maybe for once in a while be just a step ahead of the crowd. We all have a uniqueness about us. But I would just say this, it's not the uniqueness that we are gifted with that makes the difference, it's what we do with that uniqueness.
That's what leadership is. Hard decisions. Faced with two opposing ideas. If I do this, I'm going to have this problem. If I do that, I'm going to have that problem. And many, many times you have to find that narrow alley in between the two to survive. Write that down because you're going to need that. You got to get past they and get past them without killing you. That's not always easy. That's not always, people always want to tell you what to do about a situation, but it's not always easy to be you. Everybody knows what you ought to do about your situation, and they can't fix their own situation. Don't run with the herd.
I wanted something different for myself. I wanted something different for my mother. I did not want my mother working once I turned 18. So I made a commitment that I was going to generate enough money with my voice, with my story, in radio and then in speaking to take care of my mother. You've got some talent. You think you're just here to work on a job, pay the bills, keep a roof over your head, a car note, and then die? Come on, give me a break. You want to be fired up thinking and being creative. That's how you want to get your shout on, and creating more wealth to protect yourself and to insulate yourself from the ugliness and from the poverty and from the pain that so many people are expressing. This is your time to live a courageous life every day.